Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of Peden's Journal. Today I want to talk about a couple milestones that I recently achieved. I've been meaning to talk about this for a few days, but finals and last minute assignments have taken priority for the last few days. But now I'm done with the semester and I will be done with assignments for about a month until I have to go at it again next spring. Recently I got 100 subscribers to my page, which took me only 2.5 years to do, so I guess that's better than not having any subscribers at all. But I guess it goes to show that sort of my no genre format can really be difficult at attracting a specific audience. Now, I don't plan on changing my content to try to get more subscribers, because I do get comments, I do get hits, and I do get compliments and other critiques from people who watch the various forms of videos that appear on my site. But still, it's nice to finally get triple digits after 2.5 years and not really making much of a dent in the YouTube community. Now, I haven't made much of a dent in terms of general views and the general population, but I've made a dent with the autism community, or at least so it seems. Right about the same time, or a day or two after I got my 100th subscriber, my first autism documentary, which I uploaded and released a year and a half ago almost, hit the 20,000 view mark. So more than 20,000 people, or 20,000 times, more than 20,000 people watched my video. Now, could be the same person watching it multiple times, but I feel that for a video to get 20,000 hits, especially a video that's 26 minutes long, is not something to sneeze at. Over 18 months, it's about, it gets about 1,000 hits a month, a little more than that actually. But it just, for some odd reason, I feel like it means something, having a video with over 20,000 hits, just because the content I produce they don't naturally get a lot of viewers. I've had some basketball games with over 10,000. I had some silly video I did over a year ago with over 10,000, but I really don't have a lot of popular content unlike other users. I don't have dancing cats, I don't have dancing girls, I don't have dogs on skateboards, etc., etc., etc. And while that probably would get me a lot more views, I feel that the quality of my programs is what is the driving force for people to come visit my channel or to watch my videos. So I don't plan on changing that either. But it feels good to get a video with over 20,000 hits and almost 100 comments, not to mention all the websites and people who have talked to me outside of YouTube who are either commented on it or embedded the video and posted it to their own website. And I encourage you to continue doing that, not just with the autism documentaries, but any video if you like what I have to offer. Now I'm going to get a little more serious. Earlier, there was a couple things that happened that I want to talk about that perhaps would suggest that autistic people are not as strange as someone would think. Last week, my last session for my Cultural Studies and Comparative Literature class, CSCL, which was called On Television, I made a neutral sort of observational comment on a fellow classmate's paper. We had to write it in MLA format, and it was peculiar that she numbered her pages at the bottom of the page, whereas I did mine on top, because I understand that those are the rules. Now again, it doesn't matter to me, but I made this comment, and then she, for some odd reason, took it as an insult, and then as I tried to explain that I was just making an observation, she responds with "fuck you," and I was about this close to saying, "I'll show you what fuck you means," but no, I would never do that. And trust me, I don't run off my mouth with colorful language either. I'm just using it to illustrate the example. But I just thought that was very odd, and for a while I thought perhaps I made the wrong approach. But I talked to my roommate about it, and again, this is my personal bias speaking, so maybe I was out of line, maybe I wasn't, but he thought that I was nowhere near crossing the line, that I was not in the wrong, and that it was her own doing that caused this confrontation. I didn't speak with her that class, and I'm not too worried about it because I don't think we'll be running into each other again unless we happen to have some class together. But it was just interesting that people can take neutral comments, observational comments, and take it as an insult. But I'm slowly learning that you don't have to be autistic to be a strange person. Later on, last Saturday, someone talked to me about why I talked about autism so much, and I'm trying to find this balance. And I explained to her I'm so transparent about it because a lot of my problems were caused by secrecy, not wanting to reveal this issue. So if we did something that is not accustomed to what other people do, or we interact in ways other people normally don't interact, they have weird reactions. They don't know. They think of us as strange. They look at us as these weirdos. So she explained that it's not may not be necessary. This is a different student, not the one in my on television class. This was from my journalism class. That because I can hide it and it's not noticeable, that I perhaps don't need to bring it up so much. I've brought it up sometimes just to poke fun at myself because it seems to be the only way people can get a joke and actually get that I'm joking. Other times I try to make a joke and people think I'm serious and it ruins the joke. So, in other words, I will have no future career as a comedian because no one can get my jokes. Anyway, it led to this internal debate, and I was thinking about it for a while, if I'm using my diagnosis as an excuse for my problems, or if not being transparent would actually lead to more problems, and if perhaps there's a balance. Now I understand I try not to bring it up at times when it's not appropriate for obvious reasons, but I've been trying to be more comfortable with it, and I find comfort in poking fun at myself because it's easy to do, to poke fun at yourself, and in my interpretation, it suggests to your peers and to your audience, as long as you don't diss yourself, that if you poke fun at yourself, then you're comfortable with who you are, that you're willing to joke about the quirks that define your characteristics. So I'm not sure. Perhaps I need to be more transparent, or maybe I should tone it down a bit and maybe be a little more decisive or controlling on when to talk about autism spectrum disorder and so on and so forth. But then again, the third part of me thinks that there is no right answer, and that no matter who you talk to, every person you meet will have a different opinion based on their own experiences, their own knowledge, and so on and so forth. So I guess it's something to keep me busy over winter break. Perhaps something I can think about now that we'll have the holidays to look forward to and just some time to cool down and not worry about assignments for a while. And I'm really looking forward to next semester. I'm only taking 4 classes, so my schedule will be a little more free, and so hopefully I'll have time to finally get on some of the projects that have been sitting on my hard drives just waiting to be edited. Well, that concludes this edition of Peden's Journal, and until next time, so long everybody.